Keep it, folks. This is Pete58 with Shadow the Hedgehog, and we're here for another episode of Is It Real? Now, I know it's been a while, but I've been busy with some other stuff, but I think this episode of Is It Real is going to be a good one. It's about, not about whether or not aliens are real, but whether or not aliens are a threat. I believe in aliens to an extent. There's certain things that I don't believe and other things I do believe, but this is about, you know, whether or not they are actually a threat, because I think that you don't just have to go on YouTube. You can just read back in the past, within the last 35 years, of pretty amazing UFO encounters by witnesses that are reliable, you know, military included, or airline pilots that were not drunk or something like that. But I'm going to start it off with one of the first mentions of UFOs, and I know you're going to debate this because I would too, because it's from the Bible. I don't believe anything in the Bible anyway, but sometimes I think stuff in the Bible, other than being stuff from older books, like you know, like the Egyptian Book of the Dead and all that, I think there are some things that maybe somebody misinterpreted, because people see a UFO and they can interpret it any way they want. So imagine how they interpreted this back in like 500 BC in what is now Baghdad, Iraq. You know, they saw something and they just assumed it was God, and then they put that in the Bible. So I could see that being a case, because I think maybe they did see lights in the sky. It's very possible. And so, I mean, you know, like I said, it's the Bible, it's all that ancient alien bullshit, which I don't agree with, like, a whole lot. There are some things, maybe, but not the shit they talk about sometimes. But, you know, I mean, there's a lot of unanswered questions anyway, you know, regardless if it's God or a UFO. And, anyway, the next example of witnessing a UFO, I guess, I'm not sure what you call this. It's a 15th century painting called the Madonna with Saint Giovannino. Sorry, that's the name. And it's a picture, if you don't know who the Madonna is, it's what the Catholics refer to as Mary, the Mother of God. In the painting, it's titled the Madonna, and she's holding an infant who is Saint Giovannino. If I'm mispronouncing it, who cares? But that's not the point of who's in the painting, but what's in the background. And if you look, I got the picture of it here too, I'm including, and the links to everything here. But anyway, and if you look in the corner, you'll see a little man with a stupid little hat going like this, and he's looking, and you see the picture, and he's looking at an object, a UFO type object. You know, it's Sullinger Circular with a little thing on top. You know, you can see it, and you can check out the link to it in the description below. Now, the next one, we're going to jump ahead to the 20th century. This is where we're worried about, like, are they a threat or not? And I think since World War II, we've gotten very far technologically. Anybody who's, you know, watched a goddamn show on TV about history knows that in the last 60 years we've gone far technology-wise, and with nuclear weapons and such. But the first real, I guess, pre-Roswell encounter involving our military that's widely known, or was widely known when it happened, was the Battle of Los Angeles. And I'm not talking about the Aaron Eckhart movie, which was a good movie, but besides the point. That movie they based on an actual incident. In 1942, we had just entered the Second World War, and we were afraid the Japanese, who had just attacked Pearl Harbor just a few months ago, it hadn't even been a year yet, that they would eventually get to Los Angeles and try and bomb them, or bomb that state. So there was constant, you know, drills and such. And then one night, late one night, you can find out the details below, a giant white light, or just a bright light in the middle of the night, just slowly coming towards Los Angeles, and all hell broke loose, and we fired and fired and fired so many rounds, it destroyed property, and this thing just sort of sat there and did nothing. Yeah, it took all the barrage, but nothing happened. It's, you know, it might as well not have been there at all. And this light, you know, it moved around a little and eventually just descended off. And, you know, there's also a YouTube video of the actual footage of this happening, so you should really check that out. It's really cool. But yeah, nothing happened. I mean, I guess they could have, you know, attacked us back. I mean, we were shooting at them, but they didn't do anything. If there was something there, if it was a UFO, and you know, who the hell knows? But it was certainly not of this world, I don't think. And that brings me to my next story, where you, not just, you know, eyewitnesses to UFOs, but military eyewitnesses. There's a missile silo called Malmstrom. It's in one of the Dakotas. I forget which. You can check out the links in the description below. But in 1967, the guards at the front gate saw a red orb just kind of sitting there, and they didn't know what the hell it was, and things start to panic because in these silos are ICBMs, and that is an intercontinental ballistics missile. It was the best they had at the time. Probably still pretty good now. I don't know. I haven't kept up to the up to date on, you know, the nuke race, but they're the missile you want to have in case World War III had broken out during the Cold War, because they go intercontinental. They can go wherever. And everybody had them. We had them. I believe the Chinese eventually got them. They may have already had them at that time, and I'm pretty sure the Soviet Union, or what you know now as Russia, had them. And these things are never turned off. They are always on because, you know, once you know, the Soviets shoot, you shoot one of these things apparently, and either hit their country or hit the goddamn missile. I don't know, but these things are never turned off. They were never turned off. I mean, they always had B-52 bombers carrying nukes 24/7, and these ICBMs were never turned off. Well, when this red light made its appearance, they turned off, all of them. And a week before, some miles away at another missile silo, the same thing had happened. Now, they had turned them off, and obviously that's otherworldly. That's, you know, it wasn't the Soviets, it wasn't the Chinese. That's something out of this world. It's fucked up, ain't it? And, you know, you can't explain it. There's multiple witnesses to it. Check out the Freedom of Information Act, you know? I mean, seriously, it's all there. This isn't, you know, made up bullshit. They just turned them off. They didn't set them off. I guess if they had the power to just turn them off and on, they could have just, you know, no, fuck yous, and sent it to fucking Stalingrad or whatever. You know, I mean, that's just, you know, that's the fact of it, is that, you know, they had the power to turn them off and on. They could have had the power to just, you know, launch them. And they didn't. Now, why is that they turned them off? Maybe, I don't know, maybe to fuck with us, if there really are aliens. And I'm going to get to that in a second as to what I really believe. Now, for a more intimate UFO encounter, I sought out somebody. His name is Travis Walton. Now, in November of 1975 in Arizona on a logging job, he was a logger, he and his co-workers, there was 5 other people, and they had seen this bright red light in the sky. They were driving towards it, and they stopped and they saw this object just floating in the sky. And Travis, who, you know, I read his book, and it's excellent, and I don't know him personally, but he talks about himself in the book, and he seems like, because he was about in his early 20s when it happened, mid-early 20s, and you know, the kind of person he was the kind of person I kind of was at that age. You know, just not arrogant, but, you know, you're the cool guy, everybody likes you. You know, and he seems like, you know, just that kind of guy, an ordinary guy. And, you know, and me, if I had seen something floating in the sky, I probably wouldn't be too scared to get out. And he wanted to see it, and I probably would have done the same thing. I don't know. That's what I think. I believe I'd probably done it too. I probably would have gotten out. Now, anyway, he had a personal alien encounter. He was abducted. It was corroborated by numerous witnesses, all 5 that were there. There was lie detector tests. They all passed them. You know, it's obvious something happened there. Now, if you'd seen the movie Fire in the Sky, it's a good movie and you should see it, but you got to read the book. The book tells a lot more than the movie could, you know. or the movie does. And if there's ever a movie for them, Hollywood to reboot, it should be that, because I think they could include more stuff from the book. So if you've seen the movie, that's great, but you should really read the book anyway, because there's a lot of stuff in it that's just unbelievable and you can't leave out. Now, anyway, he was abducted, and he had been face to face with these creatures, and I had asked him about what he felt, if he thought they were a threat. And he responded. He actually wrote back to me, and I'm going to read what he wrote, and I'm going to include the screenshot in this video. Now, based on my personal experience, I would say they mean us no harm. If there were bad aliens, it is absurd to think we could stop them. They could engineer a devastating extermination and we'd never know where it came from. Hollywood always conjectures things where we trade blows or have jet dogfights. A simple, abrupt weather disaster or alien-designed plague would get rid of almost everyone. If they wanted our planet, it would have happened already. And that's something, I agree with that, you know, because I really believe he was abducted. I really believe he had some kind of unreal encounter, you know, I mean, just something, you know, that I think that's for real. You know, people still say he's full of shit. I don't think he is. You know, I read the book. I'm telling you. You know, it's. I believe him. I think he really was abducted. Now, the thing I believe is I don't think that there are a lot left. If there are aliens, I think most of them are gone. They're probably all dead, and the few that are running around are probably the ones, you know, that probably picked up Mr. Walton, you know, or, you know, that fucked with us in, you know, in Malmstrom, you know. I mean, you know, it's like Travis said, you know, if there are bad aliens, then who's to say they aren't going to just fuck with us like assholes? You know, they're bad aliens. You know, I believe that most of them probably are gone. They probably, you know, wiped themselves out. I mean, we're on the verge of doing that, and, you know, I'm sure... that must have happened, and there's probably a few running around probably. And, you know, as far as a lot of these UFO encounters, I don't think it's always them. Like in Roswell, I think there was something that crashed, and it was probably a UFO, but I don't think there was any aliens in it. I think it was all just like drones. We've got drones, and if they're supposed to be more advanced than us, then why would they risk constantly coming over here and all this to get shot down possibly if they couldn't prevent it from happening when they could just send a drone like we would do? I mean, yeah, they're advanced, so they could probably come up with some kind of weird gravity drive where they can, you know, go light years in just a few minutes. But, you know, maybe they're drones. That's what I think, you know. I think there could be some around, but I think most of them, they probably got themselves wiped out in some crazy ass war. There is another eyewitness account in Germany. It's a woodcut. I didn't include the picture, but you can Google it, and it's multiple eyewitnesses seeing, you know, these bright orbs just kind of looks like they were shooting lasers at each other and shit. You know, I mean, all these people. I mean, there's such things as mass delusions, I guess, but, you know, they didn't see a bunch of, you know, angels flying around. They saw orbs or UFOs, if you want to, you know, get real about it. I think an alien threat, no, I don't think there is an alien threat, because it's like Mr. Walton said, you know, we're all done, some kind of weird alien plague, you know. And I'm not going to get into conspiracy bullshit about AIDS being, or something like that, or cancer being like alien. That's just us being fucking gluttonous, you know. I mean, any diseases that are on this planet, it's our own fault. I don't think there's any alien plague, but you know, I mean, like Travis said, and like I've always thought, if they really wanted this planet, they just, you know, shoot a goddamn laser and wipe us all out, or some kind of weird fucking plague, a real weird plague. I mean, if they wanted to make it devastating, they would have come up with something better than AIDS. But I don't. This is just what I believe. But you know, you can check out the links in the description below to see for yourself, and you decide. You know, this is just what I believe. But anyway, that does it for this episode of Is It Real? I want to, you know, just thank everybody for watching, and I hope you like this video and sub to this channel. Spin dash that like button, and check out my book, The Time Rippers. It's available on Amazon.com. So, Shadow, you ready to spin dash us out? Yes. Alrighty. Hi, Kiba!